Welcome back to Recliner Gaming. Today we are finally doing the full gaming room tour. This has been years in the making, so I'm very excited to finally share this and get this out there. The idea of Recliner Gaming started a long time ago in my parents' garage when all I had was an Xbox and an HP laptop on an old coffee table. And then sometime in 2017, I got my first recliner and streaming PC. This is when everything really started coming together. And then about a year or so later, this recliner took a road trip from Tennessee all the way up to Washington. And then almost 2 years later, it ended up back in my parents' garage. And after putting a few months of work in at our new home, we were able to turn this cluttered storage closet into my dream gaming room. So I won't keep you waiting any longer. So here is Recliner Gaming. There's no better place to start the tour than with the desk. This is a custom-built L-shaped desk. We built this desk last summer while staying with my parents. I knew I needed a really large and sturdy desk. There wasn't really anything on the market to buy that fit what I needed. It only took a couple pieces of wood to really assemble the whole thing. And we did end up going with galvanized pipe legs. And then also we did an epoxy pour top to kind of give it that shine. Now this is a pretty large desk. So for the dimensions, it's 63 inches long, 54 inches wide, and 24 inches deep. This gave me plenty of room to put everything on top of the desk if I wanted to, and to allow to have two rotating monitors. And as you can see, the desk does have two sides to it. The inside is primarily used for gaming and recording, and I use the outside mostly for editing. So to cover the editing side real quick, I do have an extra large custom Halo Reach mouse pad. This is one of my favorite items on the desk. It brings a lot of character and brings me a lot of joy. And it gives me plenty of room to work on whatever monitor I need with my mouse and keyboard. And as you can probably tell, I don't have that nice of a mouse and keyboard. I'm 100% a controller player when it comes to gaming. So I really don't need anything that nice. I just needed something cheap and wireless. So I'm currently using a simple combo kit from the company On. When I'm editing, I primarily use my ViewSonic VX 27-inch monitor. This is just your simple and standard 1080p monitor. And I have done some gaming on it and it works just fine. This monitor also usually runs my stream and any Discord chats that I'm in, or maybe Xbox Live parties. Now recently I've been rotating my gaming monitor around, which is really come in handy when I'm trying to edit, write scripts, and maybe watch a few tutorials all at the same time. But we'll talk more about the BenQ on the gaming side. Now as I stated earlier in the video, I do love gaming in the recliner, but when it comes to editing, doing it in a recliner is just not enjoyable or practical. So for editing, I just have a very simple office chair. Now this chair is a massive upgrade from what I was using over at my parents' place. And I just kind of got lucky and this chair kind of came with the house. And it looks just fine, so I don't really have any plans to upgrade it anytime soon. Now off to the left of the editing station, I have a custom made bookshelf. I just made this with a couple scrap pieces of wood and some L brackets I got off Amazon. I needed a bookshelf to hold all my Dragon Ball Z books from my childhood. And then I got a few toys to put up there as well. As a kid, I never was able to finish collecting all the little books. So one day I might go ahead and finish off the collection just so I can have them all. But right below all the books is a marker board. I generally just use this to jot down ideas, maybe make a few checklists, and to kind of help me keep on track while I'm working. And you probably noticed there is a webcam mounted onto the bookshelf. I've been toying around with how to get a good camera angle to view the whole entire room at once. And this is the best I've come up with so far, but this could potentially move. I don't really love it and it doesn't hit everything that I want. But be looking out for a new camera angle coming in some of the future videos. I'm really hoping I can figure out how to get this to work. Right behind where I edit is a closet, and I haven't done anything super special, but I did put a metal shelving unit inside to kind of clean it up. And if you are into gaming or computers or anything like that, you know there's always a ton of different little pieces and parts that go to everything. And so this is where I'm mainly storing everything right now. And I've just recently got all the old video games from my parents' house, and this is kind of where I've organized them and put them. And we're all really excited to get on some of these older games in the future to do a few couch co-op tournaments. And then other than that, it's just random parts and pieces, a hot glue gun, some foam pads, green screens, things like that. Now, right above the closet, I do have one of two training swords that me and Dylan found in Seattle. So one stays here with me in Tennessee and the other one stays with him in Utah. That was something we decided when we were moving out of Seattle. So it's pretty funny to us to know that we both have these things hanging up in our rooms. Now, if you ask me, the best way to play video games is in a recliner with a controller. Now, it's not the easiest and most efficient way to run a stream or make videos, but with years of trial and error, I do think I finally found the perfect formula to have the best, most efficient setup. And for actually playing games for about the past 2 years, I've been primarily running it on this Xbox One X. It is the special Gold Rush edition, and that's why it has that goldish bronze to black finish, which does end up looking pretty cool. And for all the recording I've ever done off console, I've been using the Elgato HD60. I bought this little guy back in 2017 used, never had a problem with it. It's still working just fine, and I've been using it non-stop for years. Now for my PC, I did just have to upgrade from my old Dell streaming PC to a custom NZXT. I really didn't want to spend the money, but man, let me tell you, they do not lie about PC gaming. So anybody that says console and PCs are even is out of their mind. Running it on a PC is 10 times better. So to quickly just go over the custom build of this PC, it's running 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of SSD, 2 terabytes of hard drive to store all the recordings, a 3060 Ti graphics card, a Ryzen 3 3300, which is cooled by the Kraken X53. All of this is housed inside the H710 case and ran by a 650 watt power supply. So let's get into what I see from the recliner. This is a BenQ 2K 144 Hz 27-inch monitor, and I've just recently, with the upgrade of the PC, been able to cap out these specs. And once you've ran a game at crystal clear resolutions and a higher frame rate, it is so hard to go back. And a nice little thing to note is both these monitors do have built-in speakers. This is just a nice quality of life thing to when I can't reach my headset or just want to show a quick video to somebody or anything like that. But for almost all my audio, I do use the Astro A40s, and I hook these up to the Mixamp Pro TR. I've had this headset for well over 4 years, and I've never had any issues with it. The main reason I went with this headset is for the noise cancellation on the mic. Over the past few years, I've lived in some pretty loud environments, from my college dorm to playing in the same area my girlfriend watches TV to city traffic. I mean, the noise cancellation on this headset is amazing, and this mic almost always canceled out all that background noise. I know the Astro's mic quality is up there, but I did decide to go with the Shure SM58 for all my voice recordings. Now, I know this mic is not the most popular, especially in the gaming scene, but I love its simple, classic look. I think it kind of stands out in the crowd because it's not very common anymore, and it sounds great, and it's basically indestructible. But let's take a quick break from all the equipment and take a second to look at all the things on display behind the gaming area. So we have 6 corner shelves displaying a bunch of different things from my life. On the bottom right, we have my original 360 controller with a bunch of characters from one of my favorite games, Halo. I really wanted to have my 360 controller on display somewhere because it's really where I started gaming and kind of growing my passion for everything. And then right above that, we have all my Dragon Ball Z toys. I've got tons more than this, but these are the main ones I played with all the time, and these were some of my favorite ones. And if you're wondering, my favorite character from Dragon Ball Z is definitely Piccolo. And if you're one of my friends from elementary school, you probably recognize a couple of these guys. On the top shelf, we have my very first manga, which I thought growing up were just a bunch of comic books. But I got this from one of the book fairs at school. Thought it was the coolest thing ever. And as you can see, this very first book that's on display is pretty beat up. All my friends, we used to take turns borrowing it and reading it because we all thought it was super cool. And on the other side, we have all my favorite G.I. Joes. And also, if you're one of my friends from growing up, there's a few of these guys you probably remember, and some of them may have been yours at one time. We did a lot of trading and back and forth with these guys. Above that, we've got a Fart Ninja and a Naruto book. And then on the very top shelf, we've got a few stuffed animals from my childhood. In the middle is one of my very first stuffed animals. I named it Barry. And if you know my family, we're not very good at naming things. We had a black dog named Black. We had another dog named Puppy. And now my older brother has a cat named Meow Meow. And I play video games in a recliner named ReclinerGaming. So we kind of just name it how it is. So this room was pretty dark. It has a drop down in the ceiling, which kind of blocks off a lot of the light. So I did have to install this track lighting to really illuminate these shelves and the rest of the room. So you can kind of see the difference it makes when the lights are on compared to off. And while we're up here talking about the track lighting, I also have a display of all my Halo games. I wasn't really sure where I was going to put all these and never thought about hanging them on the wall. And then one day I just realized that the disc is almost the exact same size as this drop down. So I got a pack of command strips, and to be honest, I think it looks pretty awesome. And some of these are my all-time favorite games like Halo 3 and Halo Reach. I mean, I played Halo 3 for years non-stop, didn't even have online or anything. And then for some more lighting, I did add 2 wall lights. And these weren't so much to make the room brighter, but just give a cool warm glow behind the chair for streaming and recording. And then for lighting for cameras while I'm recording and things like that, I have these super cheap LED lights from Amazon. And they get the job done pretty well, so I have nothing to complain about. And right below this LED light is my Elite 2 controller. I've been using this controller for about 1.5 years and haven't had any problems with it. Up until about a week or 2 ago, the right bumper went out, so I did have to get it replaced. But other than that, this has been my favorite controller I've used so far. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, and I do have a few critiques, so I have been thinking about doing an in-depth review. So if there's anything you would like to know, make sure to leave that down in the comments. If you've seen any of my gameplay videos, you probably know I switched over to my iPhone 10 as the webcam. I'm able to do this by using an app called EpocCam by Elgato, and then I just clamp my phone into another cheap arm mount from Amazon. But for recording all this B-roll, I am using my iPhone 11, mainly so I can get that 4K quality, plus have the wide angle if I need it. And now to finish up the tour, I have 2 last items I want to show. This has quickly become my favorite piece in the whole entire room. This is my ReclinerGaming neon sign. It brings so much character to the room and really finishes off that back wall. And I couldn't have been happier with how it's turned out. And then last but not least, I have this picture of a monkey. I got this picture a few years ago from one of my photographer buddies from college. And this photo barely made it back to Tennessee. It was the last thing that could fit in our car when we were making the drive from Washington. I had to wedge it right in between our passenger and driver seat. So I'm really glad it made it back and that I'm able to put it on our wall. But yeah, this is ReclinerGaming. I am so fortunate and thankful to have this area. I've loved gaming ever since I was a kid, and to be able to pursue it and try to make something out of it has just been an extreme joy. And you know, it's been stressful at times, but no matter what, I get to come down here and spend hours every day trying to do the things I love. So thank you guys so much for the support. If you have any tips or tricks from your own setup, please leave those down in the comments for me. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I do have a couch co-op area that I've been working on. It's basically fully ready to go and functional. But before I do a full in-depth tour, I'm trying to build a custom entertainment system to go around the TV, just to clean it up and make it look a little cooler. So stay tuned, that tour is coming eventually. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.